What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 10 of the Gemini game series. And before we begin, this is where we left off in the last video. We have our player who can now face both directions, who can jump, and our grass looks nice and neat. We got our player and our grass that are no longer just placeholder shapes, they're now polished art. So let's pick back up, and I think in this video we're gonna probably be polishing up the rest of the placeholder objects we have with art. So these coins and the spike and the enemy and maybe even the goalpost. Let's see how much we can get done. So I got my Gemini pulled up. Ground tiles are all replaced by art on level 1. Should we move on to the rest of the placeholder items? Coin, spike, enemy, goal, post, or whatever. So yes, let's keep this momentum going and swap out the rest of the levels placeholders. We'll update the gold coin, spike trap, patrol enemy, and level goal. So starting with the gold coin. So follow this one, and we're gonna move on to the rest. Project window. We are going to look for an items or fruits folder within my imported assets. So project, art. We don't have any items. So I think let's go back to the package manager, and this is not part of the Gemini instructions. We're just remembering things from our last video. So we're going to re-import some of the items. Re-import. Actually, is there a better way to do things here instead of re-importing? So I guess we can, yeah, it kind of looks like we do have to re-import everything. So none, and we will try to import our gold coin. So items, maybe. We got art. We got background and main characters imported. So now we need tiles. No. Pixel Adventures 1. So let's see what we need. So this is our package. So we need some items here. So in our items, we got boxes, checkpoints, fruits. So yeah, let's grab some fruits and we can replace our coins with some fruits maybe. And then what else do we need? So I'm just reading through fruits. Collectible. Do we have any gold coins? Not that I see. So yeah, let's import the fruits. And then for the next item, I'm just gonna import everything together. Look for a traps folder for the spike trap. So let's see if we have traps. Yes, we do. So we're gonna import the entire traps folder, maybe, or should we be specific? Blocks, fan, fire, platform, saw, spike head. So we got spike head or spikes also. We got spikes. Should I just import the spike? For now, I think this should be good. All right. And then for the patrol enemy, we are going to go to the enemies folder. Hopefully there is an enemies folder because I didn't notice it if there is. Other traps. I don't see enemies though. Arrow blocks, falling platforms, platforms, sand, mud, ice, spiked ball. Wonder if I should just do some sort of a spiked ball instead of. The other thing we could do is use one of the main characters as the enemy. That's a possibility. Um, so you know what? For the sake of this video, we're just gonna use one of our main characters, leaning towards Ninja Frog as the enemy. Okay. So we don't have an enemies folder in this Pixel Adventures 1 package. So for the level goal, we're gonna look for a checkpoints folder and import that. So let's go back. Traps, we got our trap spike, and we need our goal post or checkpoint. Checkpoint, let's see. Checkpoints, yep. So checkpoints, checkpoint flag, and I don't actually know what these look like. So let me just go to the website for it. Opened it up in the Unity Asset Store, and let's see what the checkpoints actually look like. So checkpoint flag. Yeah, this could work. No flag. Okay, this is another one. I like the flag. I think I'll go with the. This is also kind of nice, but I like the flag, so I think let's go with the flag there. So yeah. You know what? Why not use the trophy? I'll use the trophy actually, but for the flags, I think this could come in handy in the future if we're like saving certain checkpoints in the level. Um, so if you die after reaching that checkpoint, you respawn at that same location for the bigger levels in the future. So let's import all the checkpoint items. Okay, that includes the end. Yep, this guy. So this is gonna be the one at the end. Okay, so we got our checkpoint selected. We got our fruits selected and our spikes. So import. Let's move everything over from Pixel Adventures to our art folder. And again, delete the Pixel Adventures folder. All right. Now going back to Gemini, let's start with the gold coin art. So look for items or fruits folder. We got items and then we got fruits in there. And outside, look for the collectible or melon or pineapple or apple. We got a bunch of different ones. So let's see which one looks good to me. Ooh, kiwi. We got melon, orange. I kind of like orange actually. Pineapple, strawberry. Why not orange? Orange looks pretty good to me. So, what do you guys think? Let me know if you want me to change it later, but I think I'm leaning towards orange. And I'll do that. So select the sprite sheet. Okay, so we gonna go with orange. Inspector. Make sure its settings match our pixel perfect defaults. So sprite mode would be multiple. Pixels per unit should be 32. And how do I know? Because look here, we got the width of 544, but then the height is 32. And the width is 544 because we have a bunch of different frames here. So, but we know that the height is 32, so it's going to be 32 pixels per unit. Filter mode, don't have to worry, it's already set at point, no filter. Compression is set to none. And then we have to slice it, so apply. And then open sprite editor. And we're going to slice it by cell size and pixel sizes. 30, what was it at? 16 by 16. It's not right. 32 by 32. Um, and then hit slice and then apply. And we got the individual frames sliced. So we can get out of here. And in our hierarchy, we're going to double click the gold coin prefab. So gold coin, double click. And then drag the first sliced frame of the new item sprite directly into the sprite slot. So we got two different options here. Drag the first slice frame of the new item sprite directly into the sprite slot of its first sprite renderer component. And the circle will instantly transform into the art. Or optionally, we can also, if we want an animated coin, we can drag all of the sliced animation frames directly onto the gold coin object to generate an automatic idle loop clip for it, just like we did for Mask Dude's breathing. So I think I'll go with the animated coin because it's more fun. So we got orange, we're gonna select, hold shift and select all the frames, and we're going to drag these to the gold coin object here. And it's producing the animation. So let's go back to here and we'll do orange idle, orange underscore idle, and save it. And then we are going to drag this animation uh, instead of the first frame. So let's go to our assets, animations, and gold coin, and we're going to drag this. Or no, why do we have a gold coin object here? But anyway, oh, because we dragged the individual frames of the orange on top of the gold coin. So let's grab this orange idle and drop it on our. No, we can't. We can't. We could not drag the orange idle animation file over there. So let me just check what we did with our player. Okay, so the first frame that's what we selected. So let's just do that instead. So going back to art, items, fruits, and we're going to drag the orange 0, the first frame, to our gold coin. And let's see if it's animated. So, how do I get out of this? Cool. So let's see if our object is animated now. Hit play, and it is animated. Look at that. But the problem here is that the other coins we have did not change to an orange. It was just this one. So let's fix that. Okay, and I think the reason is because we changed the sprite over here instead of on the prefab itself. So let's undo the changes until we see the placeholder circle again. So there we go. Control Z's a bunch of times until the circle reappeared. And now we got to go to our assets, refabs, gold coin. And this is where we change our prefab. So select that and go back to art, items, fruits, orange 0. So select the gold coin and set the sprite to orange 0. And now I think the change should be saved on the prefab instead of the individual objects in the hierarchy. So if we go back, look at that. All the gold coins have changed to orange. And the other thing I'll do is if I go back to animator, where is the scrolling for this part? That's what I don't understand. What is this? Exit, layers, parameters. Anyway, let's leave that for now. We'll figure it out later. Oops. But we got some nice looking oranges there. Pretty fun. Oh no. Wait, I think I now remember how we can do that. So go back to the animations folder and double click the gold coin uh, animator controller. And here inside the orange idle, let's change the speed to 3 maybe. See what it looks like. Too fast. 2. I like 2. So let's stick with that. Looks good to me. All right, go back to game. And now let's repeat the process for the other objects. Spike traps, trap swap, spike trap swap. So look for a traps folder within your imported items. So art, traps, spikes, idle. We got 2 spikes there. And let's get in there. We got 16 by 16 here. Okay. Looks like we got just one 16 by 16 object here. So yeah, no animations for the spike. That's fine. So pixels per unit over here. So this sprite mode should be multiple, and we're gonna do 16. All the other ones should be default. No filter, no compression. Apply. Open sprite editor. Slice it. Slice by grid size. 16 by 16. Slice. Apply. All done. Only one frame there. Okay, so now we're going to select the spike trap object, spike trap, and instead of the object there, we're going to go back to prefabs, select the spike trap, go back to our art, traps, spike, select this prefab item, and the sprite should be idle 0, so just drop it there. Now we got some traps. And let's repeat. And we have to adjust the polygon collider. I think we should do that for the orange as well. So this step. Spikes have a very distinct sharp shape compared to a flat triangle. Adjust its polygon collider 2D or box collider 2D so that the collision boundaries tightly wrap around the physical teeth of the new spikes. So go back to the spike trap scene. So our polygon collider 2D, need to adjust this. So click on this button, edit collider, and let's see if we can adjust it properly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Maybe just about there should be good in my opinion. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to do the same thing for the orange prefab. So for the gold coin, we should probably rename this since it's no longer a coin, but circle collider. Let's make this tightly wrapped around this orange here. This should be good. Okay, maybe just a little bit here. Looks good to me. All right. Spike trap. And gold coin. Looks good. Now let's do the patrol enemy. So this step, enemy is a red capsule. Let's give a proper pixel art for the enemy. So we're gonna use the main character, and Ninja Frog is what I was hoping for. So since they're always moving, I'll use the run animation. Uh, Rise sprite mode is multiple. Pixels per unit should be 32. Apply. Open sprite editor. Slice by grid size 32 by 32. Slice. Done that so many times. Apply. Now we got individual slices here. And we're going to take this from here to here. Go back to our hierarchy. And we're going to drag these frames directly on top of this patrol enemy. But before I do that, I want to make sure all the oranges are animated. I think it was. Yep. Oh no, we landed on the spikes. Wait, are these animated? These are not animated. So there's another problem we have, right? So only that gold coin is animated, but the other coins were not. So where is the animator? Right there, right? So what we have to do is open the, see if I can fix it. Open the prefabs, open the gold coin, and we have to, let's delete the gold coin and orange idle animations because these are for the single gold coin and not the prefab. So delete these two and go back to assets, go back to art, go back to items, fruits, select all these oranges. So shift, first frame, last frame, clicks, and then drag these to the gold coin and see if we can paste this into our animations folder, and this should be orange underscore idle. Save. And now let's see if our gold coins are all animated in the game. Nope, it's still not animated. So assets, animations, gold coin, right, orange idle, and gold coin. Let's go back to the prefab, gold coin. Open this up. Animator. We do have an animator here, so I don't know why they're not animated. Art, items, fruits. Orange 0. I mean, it's already set, so maybe I need to do it one more time. Let's see. Orange 0. And orange idle. Speed is set to 1. Let's do 2. Save it. Play. Okay, so these two these two are not animated. It's just the first one because we messed with it, right? So, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm going to delete this item, this gold coin, because we already messed around with see the animation got deleted there. So we're gonna just delete this coin from here, and all we're gonna have to do is just grab a new one and put it in its place, and this should be animated now. And all our oranges are now animated, looking good. Okay, so going back to the enemy. So following these steps again, navigating to our enemies folder. We don't have an enemies folder. We're using the frog main character instead. And I think we already did the slicing and dicing for our ninja frog guy. So yes, we got the run since the enemy is always going to be running. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. So all we got to do is go back to our prefabs, patrol enemy, and we're going to have to go back to our art folder, main character, ninja frog, and select our patrol enemy. Drag the first frame as the sprite. All good there. And we're gonna create the animation. So select all the frames, drop it on our patrol enemy, go back to our animations folder. Let's do ninja frog underscore run, because this is the run animation. Save it. And now we should have a running ninja frog with which is animated instead of our capsule. The other thing we need to do is adjust the collider. So edit the collider and just wrap it tightly around our character there. And I think it's safe to leave the wall check as is. So let's should we test it out or should we just move on to level goal? Let's test it out first. See what it looks like. Let's also increase the animation speed. So go back to patrol enemy here and run. Speed should be 2, so it's a little bit faster. It looks nicer. And now let's move on to the last thing we got, which is the level swap, level goal swap. So this is a little repetitive, but let's just get it over with. So we're going to go back to art. Items, maybe checkpoints. Yep, checkpoints. And we got this trophy here. So it looks like just one 64 by 64 trophy. So sprite mode should be multiple, and pixels per unit should be 64. And you may be asking, why are we choosing multiple if there's only a single uh, a frame here? And that's just to stay consistent. If you remember from the last video, that's what Gemini recommended, so I'm just following what it told me. So apply, open sprite editor, and this should be grid by cell size 64 by 64. Slice it, apply it, and done. Wonder if I should be using the animation. Nah, let's just leave it as is. Let's just use this clip. So, and then we go back to our assets, prefabs. Actually, we did not use a prefab for the spike trap, or for the, what is it called? The checkpoint, the goal check. And we'll have to do that in the next video, so I'll leave that for the next video to turn this to a prefab. But for this one, we're just going to level goal, select a level goal. How easy is it to just drop it on the prefab? Can we just do this? We might be able to just do that, right? So yeah, if it's just a drag and drop, it's pretty easy. I just drop the prefab from our hierarchy to our prefabs here, and now we're going to select this prefab, and we're going to change the sprite from the square to our art. So go back to art, items, checkpoints, checkpoint, nope, checkpoints, end. And we're going to drag this frame to our sprite. And let's do a little bit of a reorganizing with the box collider, edit collider, and let's make this shorter, just like that, and just like that. All good. So now we go back to our game. We got this, although the color the color looks green. So let's make it look like a trophy, or just what if we do that? Oh no, that's not good. Where's the gold color? Mm, where's the gold color? Orange color, maybe? Now let's just do like some sort of a yellow. I don't know why I don't know why it's green. We can we can fix that in the next video because this is getting kind of long. Oh, it looks like we fixed it. I don't know what was going on. Okay, let's see how we fixed it. So it looks like if I left click, nothing happens, but if I right click, so now I'm gonna do a right click. Nope, still nothing happens. So how did it change? Okay, this time it worked. I just left clicked again. It just started working. Okay, I'll just leave it here. This color looks good to me. So let's see what we ended up with. It's moonwalking. We got our working enemy, but it faces the opposite direction. Um, I mean, it is a quirky, and we could turn this bug into a feature because it looked kind of funny. So So let me know in the comments if I should just leave it running, running facing the opposite direction. This is funny. Cool. So we now have pretty much all the art, replacing the previous placeholder items in our level one, and I'll see you in the next video.